What is going on, everybody?
What's up,
Where
everybody?
did the montage go? The montage
Should be on
disappeared.
Oops.
There we go. We're starting it over. Welcome back, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Let's watch this montage right quick and then let people filter in.
Such a good job, Dan.
So many good entries, dude.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The caliber of pilots this year just through the roof.
I'm
The progression.
glad I
that's the whole
wasn't
thing,
one of
right?
the judges.
It was hard. There were 10 pilots and they were all like nearly perfect scores across the top.
Ooh, this one I like.
All right. If you don't know where you're at, this is the Super Critical FPV show. And did my video go out? That's awesome.
Your video did go out, but
Well, you
we
see
can
four
hear your
other
lovely
heads on
voice.
screen. Dan Z, how is it going, sir?
doing good. My internet got restored today after being down for 6 days. I honestly thought I would have to be like tuning in via my phone today.
Well,
But other than that,
glad to see you.
fantastic.
I'm doubly glad because that means that I don't have to run the OBS studio. That immediately downgrades the quality of our live stream by like 40%. We also have PDEVX on screen. Hey, PDEVX, how are you?
Hey, how we doing?
Wonderful. How are you doing? You doing good?
I'm doing so good. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Oregon's home for you. We're gonna talk to you more, but how's the weather there? Have you been flying?
I mean, we fly no matter what. It's like 40 degrees today, so it's not too cold. Like my fingers wouldn't be like falling off or whatever, but
Yeah, we have like once it gets north of 45, it's like fair game. It's basically summer weather at that point.
exactly. Yeah.
We're flying out there in our bikinis. Awesome. Jinx, hello, sir. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Doing good.
Great
Good to
time
see you.
yesterday.
Yesterday was fantastic.
The
Yeah.
vibe
Was
just there.
fantastic.
I mean, we
Yesterday we got
a
into the
little bit
50s.
less wind, a few more degrees, but the vibe was just there. Everybody came out and just had a good time. That was a nice spot too.
Yeah. Unadulterated. No one bothering us.
Mhm.
Good times. People
Mm.
were ripping hard. And of course, Fly High FPV. Are you excited, my friend? Today
Oh,
is
I'm
the
so
day
excited.
we announce the winners.
Next level right now.
I have a feeling I know why. Well, excellent. We will get into more conversation in a little bit. The chat is going hard. I see
Yeah.
A-Tech out there. Lumpy. F-Core. What's up? What's up? Vitrafly.
Vitrafly.
Who else
Nay!
you see, Dan?
Danish
Danish is here.
Stallion.
Stompy's out there.
608,
else?
what's up? Flexo. Dude, 8-bit, half drone will fly. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
See Bull too.
We are very excited about today. We have a lot of great things happening today. Not only is it the winners of the Super Critical Video Contest sponsored by Fly High FPV, we also have PDEVX with us, who, PDEVX, in my opinion, you really opened some doors as far as technical flying goes in the FPV world. And you, like, to me, I saw, and actually I kind of wonder, did you ever skateboard or anything like that?
Yeah, I wasn't very good though. I was like the filmer.
You were the filmer. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know, skating is scary. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has been a skateboarder or any sort of like extreme sport or whatever, but yeah, like jumping downstairs is like
It's like
painful.
Russian roulette with breaking your ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on BMX bikes. Like FPV was the segue kind of from BMX bikes, and kind of like scratching that similar itch. But there was I don't know what it is exactly, but there's kind of like a thought process that I see in what you've been doing flight wise that like translates from like the skateboarding BMX thing and the technical aspects and linking lines together that translates very well to FPV.
Yeah,
very excited to have you on.
I think a lot of that's like environment based, right? Like 'cause skating is all looking for terrain, like out in the world to skate.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing for flying. So
I think
feel that
think
too,
it
like
is.
my ski flow, even when I like downhill snow ski.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's been the case though for a while, as far as FPV goes, but I don't know. I do think there was a certain way, a certain approach that you've had at things that kind of unlocked some possibilities and allowed people to see things a little differently, which has made FPV very, very interesting.
well, thanks. I don't know about that.
Why don't we wait to get more people in? Dan, let's do your segment where we look at some videos that you've picked out for us to watch while I try to figure out this video camera situation.
Let's highlight some things, and I'm gonna let James here choose which one goes first.
Ooh.
So I have one video is a Frenchman FPV freestyle video. The other video is more of like a cinematic show reel.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have to go with the French to appease my French sponsor.
Dude, I've been liking what the French FPV scene has had going on for quite a while now.
Oh yeah.
There's something in the pastis that they're drinking out there that makes their flying real tasty.
They have all those bandos.
Dude. And not only that, the bandos, I've said this so many times, all their bandos are so clean. It's like not terribly overgrown. Like I swear people come and hack the weeds down and clean up all the like garbage. Anyway, here we go. Flat FPV, home spot freestyle, rip and edit, devil head, smoothness attempt, sweaty laughing face guy. So part of the reason that
I was actually talking to A-Tech the other day about this. What is that move going back and forth like between tricks where they're just like weaving? It's like a name for it.
There is?
Yeah. Or at least I know it's seen like a no talking trick tutorial for it.
Oh, interesting. I don't know.
Just to keep the flow going, where it's like back and forth, rather than just going straight. You kind of
like a slalom.
Flow inside it, yeah, like a slalom.
Okay.
I think I've heard it called like skating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, part of the reason I really like this is, I mean, obviously this is his like local spot, so he seems to know every square inch of this place. And you can tell because he seems so comfortable going at speed and just knowing where all the gaps are. And it's just really impressive, these lines that he's putting together. And then that opening kind of like reverse wall ride skimming off the wall. Wow.
Yeah, even when he missed one of the roof gaps, he still like smoothly went across the ground, across the roof, and made it clean.
I'm curious, who, for you, James, out there is like somebody that you get psyched on to watch?
Oh, right to the fence.
Like Pablo.
Oh my
Pablo's the
gosh.
best.
Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah.
That kid is ridiculous. I've featured him so many times that I've had to stop. Like, it's just like, okay, we all know
Dude,
this
he
dude
won the
is-
contest last year.
He did.
I was joking that he probably won this year, even though he didn't enter.
He put out a video today that I just caught a glimpse of, but he did this wall ride line where he
Yeah.
also shot the gap over 2 balconies. It's filthy.
Yeah, those were cool balconies because they had no side. It was just
Yeah.
like an L.
I don't know about being up to code, but
Oh, man.
Shit.
I'm really bad at dives like that,
mm,
where you're just like aiming for like a hole in a roof. Something about it that just like I just stare at the edge of the hole and I just run into it. I don't know what it is.
it just gets in your head.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hit
So
him
that-
at like a 45 and then work your way steeper and steeper.
Yeah, I don't even know what I do with it. I feel like I've got dives pretty decently, but I don't know. I'd have to really break it down in my head.
I heard people will like aim through it. To just
Yeah.
like, look through the hole instead of at the hole.
The more I think about things, the like more I fuck it up. I see Fly Zone Drone has joined us. Callie has joined us. What's up, boys? All right. So, second video to highlight. This is more of like a cinematic show reel. And I wanted to highlight this. I won't say that this is like the best cinematic show reel that I've ever seen, but what this does really well, and it's one of the things that I tend to kind of tell people who are like submitting cinematic videos and especially like cinematic reels. We've gotten a few of those. This has a nice wide variety of types of FPV shots in here. So I think that that's something that's definitely worth taking a look at here.
No, look at that beast.
Look at that.
Offline studios.
I believe this is a German duo. So this is their like, you know, company reel. And they do a really good job here of switching between a lot of different setups.
I just saw iPhone.
Yeah.
That's wild. Why? Why would you need that? Unless
Are you
it's
talking
for
about they
Apple.
shot
That's what
with
it
the
says, yeah, in
iPhone?
the bottom corner it said
Yeah.
iPhone. Yeah.
I bet you they shot with
Or
Apple,
iPhone.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe for like social
I mean, they were
media.
they were showing an iPhone in the video, so
Oh, okay.
look, that's full of my LEDs.
So what I really like that's happening here is, again,
There
the
we go.
variety and types of shots, but they're switching from like landscape shots to subject chases, you know, like wide shots to then getting in close to proximity to someone. I think it has a very like impressive effect. It's showing a wide breadth of stuff. And so I like, obviously these guys, they seem to do a lot of work. They seem to have connections in the production world, which is offering them a lot of opportunities. But I think for anyone that's trying to kind of build themselves up in the cinematic FPV world, you also have to do something like, for instance, what Finky did is he went out and he just started shooting kind of like side passion projects and really start kind of building the types of things that you can do with the FPV drone to showcase.
Nice. Yeah. Good picks. Good picks. There is one video I want to play. So sorry, my video's not going back on. Thanks, airtime. I've restarted a million different things. But anyways, we do have on the Discord server a new channel called Audience Tips and Tricks. And I did want to encourage everyone, if you have a tip or a trick that you think would help other pilots get better at FPV freestyle, we'd love to see those in that channel. And we'll watch them all and we'll just kind of pick one that we think is interesting or would be a good conversation piece or is helpful. So feel free. It doesn't count. I guess there was questions on whether or not if you put something in there, if that would count as your video submission. It doesn't, so it's completely separate. So it's really just and I think it'd be a really cool list that we'll develop over time for if someone wants to go in and like think, what are some things that other people do that I just never thought to do. So this one is from Austin Inspired, and it is the 2 keys to consistent Matty flips. I'm going to play it, but before I forget, I'm really excited. So we had a little bit of a change of schedule, and in 2 weeks, we will host, it'll be the Team D-Quad Takeover with 12-Pack, Larsko, and Cheese, and of course, our very own Jinx, who just joined the team. They'll be joining us on stream in 2 weeks, so be sure to like and subscribe and hit the ding-dings and all that stuff on the channel. All right, so having said that, this is Austin's tricks and tips.
Alright guys, so I grabbed quad number 2. I'm going to do a Matty flip tutorial today.
Just rocking that Vanny style.
Out there, and they all do have some very good stuff in them, but there's
and the 4 blades
points that most people leave out, and I'm not really sure why, because I see them doing Matty flips and I know they know what I'm talking about. But so the first one, which I really wanted to say was the most important, but I don't think it is now that I put some deep thought into it prior to making this video. So my arm is the obstacle. A lot of you guys are doing a front flip, then coming around the obstacle and backwards. You don't want to do that. So you want to hang it out. You literally hang it out till the last second. I hang until I'm almost under the object, then flip around and reverse. Then I know I cleared the object. The most common mistake with the Matty flip is not going low enough and backing into the object, or going too low and hitting the ground. That's really the only 2 ways it can go wrong, basically, unless you're in some weird situation. But
yeah, it's the ground for me, buddy.
Make sure you stay hung upside down and watch that the obstacle that you're doing around really good before you whip it back around. But secondly, which is the key to me being so consistent with my Matty flips, is I see a lot of people doing the flip and they wait until they're at the bottom, then they get on the gas. Right here. So my main trick to this is I will get upside down about here, and then I throttle and pull myself around. The reason I do that is I'm not guessing on gravity then it gives me the control. I'm still in control, which means it's something that I can build muscle memory on and become consistent with. So, and also never think about the ground. Think about under the obstacle, because if you're staying tight to the obstacle, you don't even have to worry about the ground in most cases, unless you're just getting gnar with it, and then you're probably pretty confident and good at these anyways by that point. So I'm going to throw the stick cam on, do a couple, maybe do some combos, and show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright guys, let's learn some Matty flips.
So he kind of just talked through it. I don't want to play the full 7 minutes, but thoughts?
That's great.
That's exactly right. That's the main issue that I see with like Matty flips is people doing like the flip first and then trying to come under it. And the problem with that is like, one, it doesn't look as good, right? Because you lose the obstacle. Like,
Mhm.
like ideally you'd have something to look at the whole time to, just look better. But the other thing that happens is you don't know like how high you are, and you don't have any sort of initial backward movement, like like you've done the flip, and then you have to kind of just like figure out, oh, maybe I'm in the right backwards position. I'll apply some throttle. You have no sort of reference for like where the quad's at, so you're kind of just guessing mostly on like, did I do the right amount of rotation? Am I even like leaning back? Like a lot of the time, people will go over the top. They'll do the flip, and then they'll just sit it, and then stop, and then kind of or go real slow backwards, so that when you're looking at it and you're doing that downward throttle that he's talking about, that's what gets you that initial movement to go under the obstacle and still like maintain the visual on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the problem that people have though is like you're throttling towards the ground, right? And you're usually when you're flying, like your gut instinct is to not throttle when you're inverted. So like it's really hard to overcome that like that instinct to just not want to throttle down.
I think the kind of the other part that's important about that to keep that Matty flip looking good is that when you are throttling kind of, as you're coming down, it gives you that momentum and speed on the exit as well. How you were saying, some people will they basically kind of like flip over, drop, and then catch it and go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel very fluid. It feels like a 2 or 3 step process. And then they're kind of like they're looking for that point of reference to then use to adjust and then speed up or whatever if they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speed coming out is like a huge thing for making it like look good, having good flow.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're not comfortable with Matty flips, I think there's a lot of gold in Austin's tip, and then how to PDEVX reiterated it and what Dan kind of came over the top with as well. If you're new to them, it's going to sound obvious, but just to make sure that we're covering all the bases, the higher object you find the highest obstacle you can when you first start, because you're going to want to do everything kind of slower, and the altitude, the height will give you the time to feel like going over the top, keeping the object in view, falling and keeping it in view. So you're upside down and you're zero throttle, and then it'll give you time to feel the difference between at zero throttle and then putting the gas back on to swing back through. And so the higher obstacle you can do that on, the more you'll be able to break it up. And then as you get comfortable with the muscle movement, you can do this in the sim too, but as you get comfortable with the muscle movement and how all of those things happen in sequence, then you'll be able to bring it down lower and lower and lower until you're doing them pretty close to the ground. And it's just a muscle memory and you're just going through it faster. So I think that's a great tip. Austin inspired. Thank you very much. I want to see more audience tips and tricks. So please, 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 shorter the better for these. I mean, if it's like a minute, 2 minutes, that would fit the segment perfectly, and we'll probably be more inclined to play like the shorter ones that kind of just get the tidbit out there. But awesome job on that. Thank you very much for submitting. And I know that a lot of people have. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I just wanted to shout out Flexo in the chat, who's saying, my biggest problem is my instincts make me want to give negative thrust anytime I'm inverted, but in Matty it looks like a lack of commitment. So Flexo does a lot of 3D flying. Yeah, you're, as far as like throttle position goes on that, you're in a different world than all of us are. But man, you should try and get a handle on that. I mean, obviously you live in like mid throttle as your zero throttle for us. But holy hell, if you could unlock that and get comfortable with it as part of your routine for 3D flying, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, Flexo, I definitely, yeah, it's interesting. I would have to think about that for a second. It's frying my brain. All right. I think people have come to find out who the winner of the contest is, and I've kept the results secret to myself for the last week and a half, and I am ready to unburden myself of this knowledge. So let's go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
And again, the finalists. I think it's worth shouting out each of the finalists. Of course, with me having to restart everything, I don't have that up anymore. So if you made it to the top 10, fantastic job. There was a bunch of entries, so great job even making it to the final 10. And here we go with the top 3. Coming in third place. And what was the prize for third place?
Third place gets what was the cash prize? They get this T-Motor hat.
$25 cash prize.
T-Motor hat, LEDs of their choosing, rolling papers, and a pile of swag, stickers and whatnot.
Nice.
Nice.
And
I wish Ken Heron was here because he probably would have a drum roll on the sound machine.
Oh, and one of these tiny little drones.
Tiny drones.
Those tiny drones are so sick, dude. Franco, do you have the link for the YouTube video?
For the top 3, I did have it up.
Get it up. Let's play them down.
Oh, that's a great idea. Bear with me 1 second. Hold, please.
Suspense is killing me. I want to know who wins.
Hold, please.
Who's going to be on Team Fly High? Because somebody's getting sponsored tonight, boys.
Light
was the
FPV,
first place.
what's up, my dude? Welcome to the chat. What time is it over there where you're at? I'm guessing. I mean, you're in tomorrow at this point. You're in the future for us.
Almost there. You'd see my face. All right.
Lumpy says he needs the baby drone. He needs. He doesn't have enough quads to destroy regular sized ones. He needs a baby one to destroy.
Lumpy, how many quads do you fly with?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Lumpy's going to be on the show in a month with the
Awesome.
acrobatics team. And yeah, I'm excited for that. So this is third place, playing it now, none other than
Ooh.
Flexo.
Oh, yay!
Flexo.
Congrats, Flexo.
Oh, I love it. Congrats, buddy.
I hope you're cheering at home.
He is an up-and-coming pilot for sure, too, man. He hadn't been at it long.
This is his 12-month. This is 12-month video.
Dude, and it's like ballsy to just go right into 3D.
This is the future.
It makes me wish I had, dude. I'm watching him. I'm like, dang. I want to do some stalls.
And we've been watching Flexo. It's been awesome. I didn't realize he was only in this for 12 months. We've seen a lot of this development.
Yeah.
I mean, Flexo's been a regular contributor to the show for audience scoring, which we will do today, everyone, with PDEVX. Nice job, Flexo. All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. So
Flexo, you're going to have to reach out, hit us up so we can get you all the prizes you got coming your way. Thank you
shoot
for
me a
submitting,
message.
dude.
I got you, dude.
Nice shredding.
And we'll also hit me up or hit Danzy up or Jinx or all three of us on Discord, and we'll get that cashola over to you. All right.
Yeah.
Second
Number
place.
2. Who's
What was the
number
prize?
2?
What was the prize for second place?
$50 from us over here.
And more LEDs, more rolling papers, another hat, and more swag.
Hell yeah.
Second place goes to Lumpy. Heavy Hitters
yeah.
compilation.
Oh.
Congratulations, Lumpy.
Lumpy, I gotta say, man, your flight style is, man, that's something I aspire to. The kind of like balls out, maneuvers you got going on here. Holy shit. That's some man stuff right there.
It's funny. I only became aware of Lumpy recently because of the acrobatics thing. So for me, it's like out of nowhere. I'm so impressed.
Oh, this one's so good.
Well, I've known him as Will Burr on Facebook. I didn't know it was Lumpy until I saw these.
Yeah, he entered last year.
Oh my
Ah! Ah! That roll through the pickup truck.
Nope, that was your pickup truck.
Yeah, that's just a random pickup truck. I found this cool obstacle.
I did.
Lumpy, that was awesome, dude.
That was awesome.
Great.
Great
That's
job.
really good.
So well earned. And just I actually had a dream that I was flying like Lumpy last night. I'm not even making that up. Like it was a double. It was weird, dude. It just came back to me right now.
2 telephone poles.
Yeah, I saw his latest.
Every time I looked behind me, there were 2 telephone poles.
All right, so here we are in the moment of truth for the Super Critical Video Contest sponsored by Fly High FPV. I'm happy to say it's not going to be our only video contest. I think we're going to try to do more, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But first prize, just because we're going through it all, what was the first prize?
$125 cash.
Cash.
Super Crit.
T-Motors. Full set of titanium F60s. Any KV you want, I got them all in stock. T-Motor t-shirt.
Hell yeah.
T-Motor hat. LEDs of your choosing. And where'd the tiny drone go? Oh my god, I've lost it.
That's how tiny it is.
I should have put it on my backpack. It's gone.
It's in the prize package in spirit, and of course, a sponsorship with Fly High FPV, which is, I think, kind of the marquee. And here we go, Ken Heron, drum roll. None other than F-Core.
Yes.
Yeah,
My
buddy.
dude.
Another Pirate
So
team,
deserved.
Pirate Frames team pilot.
So fucking good.
F-Core is so damn good, dude.
He's so good.
It makes me want to quit, man. I mean, it's just.
He's so freaking good.
Welcome to the team, Jason.
Of course, a
Like-
local Illinois dude.
Yeah. He's been incredibly good for a while now, and I feel like he's slowly blowing up more and more and more. The thing that's like shocking to me is the guy's consistency.
How's that for Fly
Nah.
Called it.
Congratulations, F-Core.
So happy for you, F-Core. F-Core has a big history with the Super Critical channel. He's participated in every single one of our contests. And just a reminder, this was a complete, I think this is as fair of a vote as we could possibly get. It was the Fly High FPV team. We didn't participate in kind of the selections of that.
not
And
vote.
so, and there was the audience vote. And we made sure to keep it really kind of clean and unbiased. And F-Core took it. He just took it. Wish you could see my face because he'd be saying he took it. So F-Core, congratulations. And I would love to get Pirate Frames squad show on the channel. I think that would be a lot of fun to have the whole team.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so everyone stick around. We're going to talk to PDEVX. We're going to watch some audience videos, provide some feedback, some audience scoring, the regular rigmarole. And
Dave, what do you got to say coming out of that?
Yeah, I'm just blown away. I hadn't been able to see the votes, but a little part of me knew that F-Core was going to win. It was just so fucking good again and again and again, as it usually is from him. But I was just blown away, man. It's so amazing, and just amazed. Just I don't even know, man. It was so good, and not just his effort, but just all the entries were
Yeah.
way up a notch from last year.
Yep.
It seemed we didn't get as many entries this year either. We had like 115 something the first year and like 80-ish this year, but the just the qualities have gotten so much better. So I can tell that the supercritical method is working. Like people are progressing, and even new pilots are coming out and making it all the way up here to the top. And that's a guy that's supercritical too, trained too, man. I mean, Flexo's in here all the time, constantly submitting, constantly working and getting better and improving himself. And I love it. That's kind of why this all started in the first place, because I love what you guys were doing, and I just wanted to see more of it. So thank you
Thanks,
guys
man.
too, man.
Thank
Really,
you very
really
much,
appreciate
Fly High.
you.
Hey, Fly High,
Would-
I know that you guys just announced a in real life event. You want to plug that right quick?
Yeah. Castle Crash 2.0. We're doing it
Ooh.
again. Same place. We're going to be at Eastwind Village Castle in South Carolina. And there's camping on site. It's cheap as hell. It's only $50 for a pilot pass, and that includes your camping.
That like a 2-day event kind of thing?
It's the September 1st through 4th, so it's a long weekend, and there's like 3 nights there. So you're really getting your money's worth for $50. We got tons of awesome sponsors. I see GemFan in the chat. They're one of our
Hey, GemFan.
sponsors, of course.
Yep.
They're going to be out there giving away props, doing competitions. They do he does a prop change challenge and see who can do them the fastest. FCore was there last year too. We're just going to make it bigger than ever though. Bot Grinder is our special guest. So we're gonna have the theme is set correctly, and it's just wicked fun, man. It's like it's in a medieval village, and there's a castle on the front lawn, and we just have crazy good time with drones. We kick all the knights and wizards out, and they leave, and we take over, and it's just like a big drone festival, man. It's so ridiculous. There's
gotta
this
say-
whole village to play in.
I remember hearing about Castle Crash because last year was the first year. Was it the first
It
year?
was.
That
It was our
Castle
first year throwing the event as a ground roots effort. Like,
Yeah.
there's no business behind us. It's like Uncle Stewie was like, "Hey, Dave, you think that you would come out if I threw this event?" And I was like, "Yeah. What do you need help with?" And then he was like, "Well, I think Bot Grinder's gonna come." And then I was like, "Well, do you need sponsors?" And he's like, "Yeah, that would be great. They could give us prizes." And so I started rounding up sponsors, and next thing you know, we had like 20 sponsors giving us prizes, motors and stacks and controls and receivers and electronics and all kinds of goodies, man.
That's
Just
great.
loaded us up with prizes, and then we ended up having like 85 guys came out and camped out there with us and just had a really, really good time. We had all kinds of events. All
kind
kinds
of
of
events?
drones came out. Dude, there was a battle arena where there was like a balloon in the middle of the arena. It was like 10 feet off the ground, and you had to dive from the treetops and try and pop the balloon without hitting the ground. And I went nuts over it trying to get that dive without hitting the ground. It's just stupid fun. They did drag racing where they took 2 quad drag race down a strip that had to hit a balloon at the end. So like the fastest
That's
guy
cool.
wins. The Kong spin was the most ridiculous. They have like a cage you put like your winch in, and it was like this huge man-sized cage, like a stockade hanging from a tree, and they would put a pilot in it and wind it up, put your quad down on the line, and then start spinning you, and you had to fly in a straight line down and through the back of this carriage. Into the first window was like this big, and then the second window was like that big, and out the other side and land. And it's surprisingly hard. I'm like spinning in the cage, but I'm trying to fly straight, and it's like I'm straight as an arrow. I got this. You get all the way inside the carriage, and then you have to make like one little adjustment, and it's like, whew, it's hard to do.
Did anybody throw up in the cage?
Nobody
or
threw up
after
in the
getting
cage.
out of the cage?
No, but it's just ridiculous fun the whole time. We had Game of Bot, or no, I think we ended up changing the name to Bottle
Yeah.
Royale. Lots and lots and lots of fun, and more fun this year. we're going to shift it over to at nighttime. We'll do like more whoop focus events. So bring your tiny stuff out too. There's guys bringing lights and gates and stuff like that, so we can do a little bit of racing. We set up a big bench, huge rows of benches, so people can just come and work on their quads and get help. And we got like master builders out there at the tables, so that when people need help and they don't know what they're doing, they can just ask, and somebody can come over and show them how to solder and help them fix the shit and get them up in the air. So people can just get their stuff up in the air and get the parts that they need to get it going and just have fun. We have a swap meet so that you can bring your old crap and sell it and give it to somebody else for cheap or give it away or whatever. Lots of pilot focused stuff, just because it's all about the community. It is a nonprofit event. We haven't gotten our nonprofit status yet because we're just like a couple of dudes trying to throw this thing together. But like, we're not trying to charge you $600 to go camping like some of these other events. It's really just about us as pilots and doing what we want to do and having a lot of fun doing it. So we're just going to keep making it bigger and crazier and more fun. And if you want to get involved, reach out to me. We are looking for more sponsors all the time, and we want more community sponsors. We've got so many good ones already, like Woodchuck FPV is making frames and giving us a frame. 12-pack a day Habit is giving us a frame to give away for the event. They're awesome sponsors for us. Brandon FPV, Ground Control, TT FPV, WOM FPV, and these are just like guys in the community who like have projects that they have like been working on, and they're donating them to make the event happen. So it's just like totally community driven event, and we love it, and we want to do more of it, and we think you should probably come too, because it's ridiculous fun. It's ridiculous fun.
I gotta say, I remember seeing, because I heard about Castle Crash, but I had already kind of filled up my agenda with other events, and I just remember seeing people's videos coming out from Castle Crash and being blown away by how fun that looked.
It was ridiculous. Last year, I gave away 125 packs of LEDs, so everybody's quads had this on them.
Nice.
And it was just ridiculous. Just so much fun. And we're just going to keep doing it, man. Like, keep throwing this thing and making it bigger. We talked about doing a couple of events, but we're just so overwhelmed. We're going to try and focus on one at a time right now. Keep it going with that. Add the Screech frame to that. Hit me up and give me some details, dude.
Hell yeah.
Dan and Franco, we also have something going on Sunday.
Yes, we do. On the 26th, no less. Jinx, what do we got going on the 26th?
We have the, what is it called now? The Tiny Whoop Masters.
Yeah.
The Whoop Masters event.
Master race.
The Master Race. That's what it was.
No, it's not called the Master Race event. It's the Whoop Masters. Whoop Masters race at Indian Lakes Hotel. So if you guys are local, close to us here in the Chicagoland area, please hit us up. We'll let you know about a race we got going on this Sunday inside of a hotel that is being renovated. It's an old Frank Lloyd Wright designed hotel.
Whoop Masters Tour. Goldfinger's one of the main organizers of this thing, and
he's in the chat.
It's going to be massive. It's going to be 2 huge courses.
Race courses, yep.
I don't know.
It's a great time.
Happy Model is going to donate some stuff. I don't know if we're going to do the first, second, third place again, or if we're going to do it exactly the same as last time. But Happy Model's got some good stuff.
So that's Sunday. Hit up the Chicagoland FPV Discord server or the multi-GP for Chicagoland FPV. All are welcome. It's really good if you sign up at the multi-GP site for that, just so that we have an idea of how many people will be attending. It's a lot of work, and the organizers do a really great job, but kind of giving them heads up that you're going to be there is always appreciated. But that's this Sunday, February 26th. I've been to the first 2. They were a ton of fun. I don't race, but Dan
He still
Z
killed
has his hand in the creation and of these courses, and they have a very there is a lot of kind of inverted stuff as part of the course, so it's a ton of fun. Cool.
The barbecue bando is right after that, March 10th through 12th in Georgia, from Team Drone Adventures. It's going to be ridiculous fun too.
Rock on.
Hell yeah.
So many events. I remember 4 years ago, before COVID, like there was no events for freestyle, and now it's like every weekend there's something good to go to. Well, Fly High, thank you very much for the contest. A pleasure having you on. You can hang out if you'd like. But I do want to kind of pivot our focus and talk to the man, the myth, the robot, PDEVX. Hello, sir.
I'm going to go grab a dab. You guys have a great evening.
We'll talk to you.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
So, where to start? So, PDEVX, obviously your teammate won the Pirate F Corps, won the contest, but you've been flying Pirate for a while now. How long has it been that you've been on Team Pirate?
I don't know. I think it's like 2 years, something like that. I know I've been flying the frame for 2 years. A lot of time they'll like pick you up and then they want like some big reveal, and so they don't drop that they've picked you up until like 6 months in or something like that. So yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was like a couple of years.
I know that a lot of people in the audience, right? I mean, we can look at the sheer participation in the Fly High contest, where a sponsorship is very important to people. And just thinking about that, how that came about for you, you were flying the hook frame. Was it called the hook at the time, or was it another frame from Pirate?
No, I wasn't flying their frames.
Oh, you weren't. So they reached out.
No,
to you
I knew
first?
who they.
No.
So
Damn, right when we were getting into the juicy
He
bit,
said he wasn't flying their frames. They cut him off.
Yeah.
The Frenchies decided that
Stick to the script, PDEV. No deviation. It's so funny.
Oh no.
So obviously I can't get my camera on. Funny story was the Airtime people hit up our Instagram, and they were like, "We see how popular your FPV room, because we use this thing called Airtime, airtime.com, which is it's really slick, but it's been a little bit problematic. I cannot get my camera back on, and we can't hear.
I will say, like, for the past year, for the past year, it's mostly worked, but then these past couple months have been awful.
Yeah,
it's been so problematic.
They're gonna cut off the whole room in a second, because they're probably watching.
They're monitoring.
They're like, this is not good for us. But if you guys are watching, I can't get my camera back on, and I feel very awkward. So if there's anything you guys can do, hello.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, we got video. Nope. We got video, but no audio right now.
So just so that the audience knows, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Yeah. We found another solution. We wanted to go live with it this show, but we hadn't had a chance to test it. So we wanted to do one more show with Airtime. No, can't hear you yet, PDEVX. So why don't we do?
I gotta say, also in the chat, Phantom FPV has joined us. Phantom, that latest video that you did with Steel and Stingy, that dive in the parking garage there, that was some real tasty stuff, my dude.
Did you catch Phantom's Bardwell interview? It was really good.
I didn't watch that one.
It was really good.
I saw it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Phantom.
But I'm a fan of Phantom. I got to meet him at Rampage last year. He's a good dude.
Since we're waiting for technical difficulties, can I just make a what do you call it? A confession? Oh. So at Rampage is when I met Phantom in real life as well. And he was hella cool. Most of the people, the vast majority of people at Rampage were hella cool.
Yeah.
And hanging out around the bonfire was one of my favorite parts of last year. Just chilling, having great conversation, flying all day. But Phantom would come by our campfire, right?
Yeah.
And in Phantom, I know you're in the chat, so I know you're listening. I had reached out to you prior to Rampage to help judge when we were kind of involved, when I was kind of involved at Multi-GPIO Freestyle Tent. And that was based on your awesome video of you doing like the Trictionary. And we had like this dialogue. We had this dialogue back and forth. And I was like, dude, this guy, you know, who made this Trictionary, who else would be a better judge for a freestyle contest, right? Someone who looks at it this way. And we had some back and forth. And I ended up not being able to go to IO. We got sick with COVID, blah, blah, blah. But this is the confession part. I didn't know that the Phantom hanging out by our bonfire was like the Phantom that I talked to online. And it only occurred to me like several months after that they were the same person. So, my bad.
That's funny.
All right. Well, man. Okay. Well, here. Why don't we do this while we wait for PDEVX to
figure out,
struggle through the airtime? Why don't we go to audience videos? We'll get some scoring going on. This first one we're gonna play is because we had selected Timmy Drones in a past show, but we thought that we were replaying something and we weren't. So I do want to make it up to him because we kind of cut that video short because we thought we were watching something again. So we're gonna start off with Timmy Drones.
And I also want to know, just to reiterate for the audience, to vote. There's the Menti link in the description, or what is our code that you enter on the website?
The Menti code is 5101 3199. 3199.
3199.
And the link for that's in the description of the YouTube video as well, so you could just click that, and then you could play along. And it's all pretty self-explanatory as I try to find Timmy Jones. There was a lot of entries as it can be expected. So let's get to the meat of it. If I could find Timmy Jones. This is a well-run machine today. Here we go. This one's called Juice It Up. Timmy Jones. This is for audience scoring. So if you're in the Menti app, make sure that you're hitting yes. I don't even know how many people. James, hello. Hello, sir. Can we hear you? Yes, I can hear you.
He's back.
Here we go.
All right. So we're gonna score one, and then we'll talk some more. How does that sound?
Yeah, I was listening. So.
All right. Here we go. Juice It Up by Timmy Jones. If it's your first time here, play along.
I like a good quad.
Fly
thumbnail.
Zone's telling me to chug that. I gotta work tomorrow, bro. I can't be chugging whiskey. And my ice is gone.
I know you told your friend you're not. I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.
I seem to remember you guys had a name for the sad song club.
No, Dude came up with it. Sad Boy Ribs.
Sad boy
Sad
riffs.
boy
Yeah.
riffs.
I love a good sad boy riff.
I'm all about it too.
Oh, but then it
Switch up.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Emo's getting its like a little bit of a resurgence. More hip hop inspired this time.
Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby, I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not
So I really like what I'm seeing here. The light post stuff, like focusing around an object and seeing how you can kind of change the perspective as you're flowing. And you're making some like interesting, like fun edit decisions. Oh, that was the end of the video?
It was 2 minutes. It just abruptly cut.
Okay.
Oh.
That was a bit of an abrupt ending.
All right,
right
so
there.
if you have the Menti.com app open, you are free to score. Usually the first one takes a little bit longer for folks to score, but we can see the votes coming in. While we wait for the kind of votes to come in, any other feedback from the folks on camera on Timmy Drones?
Yeah, I was going to ask if James could pick up where he left off before they cut him off. I'm serious. Like, I mean, he said he wasn't flying Parat, or he wasn't flying the Hook. What were you flying?
Well,
we can go back to that after.
Okay.
yeah, let's go back to that after this. After this video, James, I am curious. What's like, given, what's your thoughts? If you have any thoughts on it.
How can this pilot get better?
Yeah. So I saw a lot of the, what do they call it? The whoop-de-doo. I think that's what eRadio called it, where you go like forward, like towards the tree, and then you kind of like yaw around and then come out backwards.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I'm
like
talking
an
about?
alley-oop almost around an
Yeah.
object.
Yeah. So those are cool. I noticed a tendency to try to like stay level. I think that's just maybe just kind of like not being what's the word I'm looking for? Confident on the sticks, right? Like so, like a little bit more oomph, right? Like a little bit more throttle in and out would really like add to that. Like I like on the whoop-de-doos when you kind of like swing up a little, like it's not all flat yaw, and you get like a little bit more quick movement by adding some pitch, right? Like so when you're heading into it, head in with some speed, and then to make sure that you don't like pass the obstacle, you have to really like crank it back, and it adds a cool effect on the whoop-de-doo where you're kind of like looking kind of more up, under the tree, and looking up into the foliage and all that kind of stuff. So. It might be something to try out, like give it some more speed, which will then inherently cause you to do a little bit more movement on that trick, and it looks really cool when you do it.
You're talking about this move, right? Where it's like, my camera's back on. It's like you go forward, past like the pole, and then you throttle back. So it's like you're making a V around.
Yeah. You do a little bit of a yaw movement though, right? Like here, I'll grab a quad too.
The power of video.
Yeah. It's like you're coming forward, and then you kind of start to like back off, do a little yaw, and come this way, right? And then you exit out going like forward. So yeah, I saw a lot of that move where like you kind of. The way he was doing or they were doing it is yaw more flat, to come around it. But if you give it some speed, you're coming in with some pitch, and then you have to back off it to not like totally pass up the tree or whatever. And then it gives you like a cool little like looking up at the tree effect. Yeah.
I think that was
it's the way eRadio does them.
I was echoing kind of what I was vibing with the video. is because in a lot of those instances, he's doing a really like interesting change of perspective, right? And that's what that move really brings to the table.
Yes.
But like working that more, like what you're saying, working that more and having a little more confidence with that move and going into it with more speed. Yeah.
And that'll inherently like cause you to give more like pitch movement, and then that's where you get that cool effect of like looking at something. It's almost like you're going to start into a trippy spin. Like some people come into it forward and then like start to go around. It's that same sort of movement where you're approaching the obstacle, you have to back off the throttle real hard, or sorry, back off the pitch real hard to not pass up the object. And then that's like the start of a trippy spin right there, which I saw a few of those too.
Yeah.
I think you said a key word that I think while I was watching the video, the confidence. So, Timmy, we've seen a lot. And I think that from a technical perspective, you're really kind of getting, okay, how do I get the quad to move in the way that I want it to? And now I think is just trusting your muscle memory and accentuating the stick movements, because on that, like if we call it a whoop-de-doo, I've heard another name for it. I can't remember what it was, so we'll go with whoop-de-doo because it sounds awesome.
Hey, it was E-Rod Yo's. He's the source.
You can fire past the object, and if you pitch back really fast and then and zero throttle out, and then fire more throttle back in, you can do that like really aggressively. And I'm not saying that you have to fly aggressively, but I think it's something that you might want to experiment with, which is, all right, trust that I have the movement. Now, how can I really explore it and be confident on the sticks? And yeah, you'll bash up some quads, but it'll be cool and fun for you. So looking at your score, you did awesome, the production quality of the video. People are that's resonating with people, but I think maybe the play and the maneuvers, obstacles, locations, the variety of your video was good. So however people interpret that, so people are really feeling that. And then areas that the audience felt maybe there's room for improvement, the speed at which you're flying, and I think that translates to confidence, and then the difficulty, right? And again, I think if you kind of mess with this idea of, hey man, you got it, now just see how far you can push it, and be confident in that, I think those two categories are going to improve for you. So moving on, the all-important point.
I'd like to make one more additional bit of feedback there. I noticed that you were doing some really kind of like fun, kind of creative editorial choices. In a freestyle FPV edit, while I appreciate the kind of fun you're having with the edit, at a certain point, it starts to feel like there's one too many cuts in the lines that you're trying to do. And so I think you need to focus on building kind of some longer lines that you feel really proud of to put in your video. So you don't have to cut so many times. And I think that it gives the viewer kind of more impact when they're watching it, but then it also gives you yourself kind of a little more kind of like pride over the piece that you put together, because I know a lot of times I'll go out, I'll film a flight line, and I'm super psyched on a movement I've done, but then like directly afterwards I lose the flow or whatever, and it becomes very frustrating. I want to use it, but then I feel like it's I need to go back and revisit it afterwards.
So looking at the Genetic Qual point, 50-50, that means yes. Nice job, Timmy Drones. We appreciate you. Our bad for missing out that 1 week. But we appreciate you always. Going back to your last comment, Dan, and putting together lines and putting out stuff that you're really proud of. I do want to touch base on that. But before PDEVX got cut off, he was telling us about his frame journey. So prior to Pirate, were you flying Pirate frames? I'm really curious. Let's start there.
Yeah, okay. So before they picked me up, I knew who they were. because they had Jay True. He was like my favorite freestyle pilot at the time, still one of my favorites. And they had Finky, who was way more into freestyle at the time. Now he's like full on the city train. But at that time, I was flying Source One. Like it was cheap. There was lots of prints and designs available for it. Mostly it was cheap, right? Like
Yeah.
we're bashing these things, smashing them into walls and concrete and stuff like that. So so my first go at it was like trying to figure out like what was the cheapest option for replacement. And Source One did well for me for like a while, but it's like the lowest quality, right? Like, it's like it's at the bottom. So like even though the parts are cheap, like you're replacing them more often. At the long body kind of like restricted the backward movements because like antenna placement, it sets it further back into harm's way. And so like with all the Maddies I was doing, I was smashing, I was flying the lollipops at the time, the Foxier. And I was just smashing the heck out of them. Yeah, now that you got a short body, you can move the antenna into a more reasonable place.
Yeah. You could see
the
difference.
Oh, is that a Source One?
Yeah, this is the V4.
Is that the V4 with the skinny arms? And so I was on the V3. I was on the V3, and it had those thick, like the wide arms. I think they were only like 4 mil though.
Yeah.
I was breaking arms all the time. I was breaking frames all the time, just plates, swapping parts all the time. And then Pirate just hit me up out of nowhere and said, "Hey, we like what you're doing. We're looking for just one pilot right now with like a particular set of skills, I guess." Like they wanted a certain type of freestyle pilot. Like they themselves are big fans of freestyle at PV, which is one of the reasons they work with like Jay True. Is like he's just I don't know if you ever saw like early Jay True when he was like real young, first coming out, way ahead of his time. So they I think, I don't know, maybe they saw like a little bit of that in me, a little bit of that young boy, I guess, young French boy.
Young French boy in you.
They saw the young French boy.
Yeah, a little bit. And I liked what they were doing. I had one gap it frame, the X Hover one. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Yeah.
That was one of the first toilet tank frames that I remember. And I loved the way that thing flew. So if you've never flown a toilet tank, the bodies are really tight. So there's all the weight is.
We're looking at the hook right now, right?
Center. Yeah, this is the Hook V2 from Pirate. So with toilet tank, the lipo goes across the frame instead of parallel with it. And that just creates like this ball of mass all in the center. And what it does is makes it easier to flip on all axes because the weight distribution is kind of the same. And it's all in the center. So it's got this like throwing a ball kind of like feel to it, like the way that it carries through the air. It's kind of hard to explain until you really try it out. But usually like when you've got the lipo running long ways like this, you've got a lot of weight along just the center here. So it's easy to roll, but it's harder to flip, right? It takes a little bit more effort because there's all that weight towards the outside. So having it just in the center just makes it more agile in all axes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps with kind of doing less generic movements. So like typically, like for freestyle, you'd have like your rolls, your flips, and that's all along like a single axis, that's like a roll, flip forward. You're working with one axis. This allows you to do more kind of like you can spin along 2 axes, kind of sideways, and it just feels more consistent no matter which way the quad is spinning. And I feel like that helps on a lot of maneuvers. Things like inverted yaw spin, where the quad's not actually flat necessarily. Maybe it's like this, you know? And so the weight just feels more even all around.
Yes. I think inverted yaw spin is a perfect example of where you really feel that kind of difference.
Yeah, you mentioned that the Source One, and I agree with you. And I just recently started transitioning off of the Source One, but with the long body, it doesn't lend itself to a lot of the backward maneuvers, like things coming out of Matty Flip. And I bring that up because I think you were really one of the driving forces in a lot of the way the FPV freestyle world is flying right now in terms of your approach to the movement itself. Because we were all kind of blown away when Matty Stunts introduced the Matty Flip, right? And that changed things. And then Cricket was really doing everything backwards, right? And it's like, okay. But it felt like there was a bridge in you where it was like, all right, we're going to start doing tricks just fucking backwards, right? Like we're going to meld it all together. And you're still, I think one of the things in all of your videos that I notice is you're approaching the movement differently. And I'd love to kind of get into that. Like what's the, when you go out to session, how are you approaching it? I'd love to dig into, is it all just flow and you're like, oh, this is cool? Or do you have ideas or, what's the process like for you?
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly some like intention involved in like coming up with things. It's not like something that just, I go out to the spot and like, it just naturally happens. No, there's a lot of like planning in advance and kind of like
trying prior to the day?
Out. Sometimes okay. I'll sit in bed and I'll just like think about tricks. And usually what I'm thinking about is like, how can I take something that I've seen a lot? Because all of this is just pulling from, other sources, people like Cricket and Matty Stunts, and then just trying to meld it all together, right? So yeah, I might be just kind of thinking about, okay, I've seen this trick. How can I tweak it slightly to make it a new thing that I haven't seen? Or how can I like exit a trick to then combo it into another trick? So that's where the planning kind of comes into play. It's just taking a trick I know and then just saying, okay, what if? Like, what if I do this into it? What if I do this out of it? Like, and even just like little quarter movements, half rolls. I've been experimenting a lot lately with just kind of like taking something and then just in the middle of it, half roll around and now going backwards, right? It just little movements like that completely change the flow of the trick. Like as soon as you do half of a roll or half of a yaw or whatever it is, you're going backwards or you're inverted.
Right into the glass window. I'm just kidding. That's me. I'm gonna half roll right into this fucking car. No, that's awesome. And then like once you, in terms of, and I'm tying this back to Timmy's video, right? I guess how do you, when you've developed a certain amount of like ideas, how does that come together in a video for you? Like what's that process like for your edits?
Yeah. So I do a lot of pre-planned lines, I guess. And usually they just come together at the spot, like a dozen packs in. I'll do, so many maneuvers. I'll get consistent with it. I'll do another maneuver on some other obstacle that's near that. And then once you have a few tricks, that's when you can start to think about how I'm gonna like connect them. Whether that's a combo of like one trick right into the next, or just like, how do I make the line kind of like lead into this, this next phase.
Do you typically? I've noticed that for me, like 3 obstacles, 3 tricks, because I'm similar to you in terms of like I can't help but intentional, like my sessions have become that. Like I as I get warmed up, I think, okay, well, I want to do this thing here, and this thing here, and then I'll just hammer that, like until I get it, and then if I get it, I'll make it harder or make it faster, right? But for you, is that typically? Do you find yourself like a number that kind of builds a line? Is it 5 things? Is it 3 things? Is that not even something that you think about? I mean, in terms of
it's density, really, right? Like, so you can have a long line with mostly like good tricks, or you can have a short line with a couple hammers and then some filler in between. But overall, sorry, not density, but the overall weight of the full product, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think, I mean, someone like Lumpy, for instance.
You could do one trick and that's good enough. Yeah. But there's a different level of that for everybody, I guess. Tricks that I would have 2 years ago put as a single banger. A lot of those I would never, do just one take. I would do a line, right?
Yeah.
And I do a bunch of other tricks with it. So just, as you progress, that what's acceptable for you in your edit kind of changes.
Yeah. And I think what's kind of great about just the whole process, as you go on, and as personally as I've gone on, is I've seen the kind of the level of difficulty and the level of ability keep getting plussed up. And so it's always, I think one of the things that, at least for me, is always important is finding ways to one-up yourself,
yes,
plus it up and do better than what you did the time before. And I think that's a kind of pretty standard for a lot of people.
Actually, I find myself a lot of the time I'll do the trick, I'll get it where I'm happy with it, and then immediately I'm like, okay, now how do I do it a little bit better? How do I one up the next? There's a clip I just got this weekend, and I was stoked on it, and then I was like, but I could make it so much better if I just have some cool lead into it or whatever.
I was telling, I have my wife's sister's longtime boyfriend. He's a photographer, and he's got into FPV drones because he sees it as a great way to augment his professional offering. So we chop it up about FPV, and I was telling him it's kind of sad because no matter how good a session is going for me, and I'm putting together these lines and I'm getting exactly what I'm thinking of, there will not be a session. It's very rare for me to come home with all of my drones intact, because it's as soon as I get the line, I'm going to try to improve upon it or make it more complex in some form or fashion, or make it faster, so that I will always be riding the edge of my ability all the time, and I will often go over the edge, and that's when all my drones break. And then I have self-confidence issues because I go home brokenhearted. But I think it's a really interesting kind of way to approach. And I think that a lot of people do that, but at the other side, I think a lot of people don't do that, right? And I think there's space in the hobby. I think there's space in the hobby for both, right? But I mean,
it's weird because intention kind of affects the video, right? Is it a one pack? Is it just a freestyle where they're kind of keeping in all the mess ups, but the mess ups where they kind of they're going for something, but then they smoothly flow out of it when they miss,
right?
That kind of thing. And then there's some that are like very planned, like here's my 5 lines that I did at different locations. And intention plays a lot into it.
Jinx, I'm curious, right? Because Dan and I have talked a lot about kind of how we approach lines, but you're relatively new to the live stream and being on the live stream. You were killing it yesterday. I was watching I was like riding along with you. And you laugh, but I just don't think you realize like kind of how impressive your flying is. But when you go at your lines, when we're in the big session and it's just like homie's day out, right? I guess how are you building stuff? Is it just flowing with you? Or I guess tell me a little bit more about the way you approach.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, at a spot like yesterday, that was the first time I was ever there. It was a lot of just flying around, and like the first thing you see is, okay, there's that tall building, I'm going to dive down that. And then when I came out of that, it's like, oh, okay, there's that the parking garage, I'm going to wall right out of that. And okay, how can I approach the dive where it's not just like, okay, I'm going up, but I'm going down. So it's okay, I'm going to do, juicy flick, and I'm going to do that like that reverse eject toward the thing and then come up it. Because I like the way that F-Core likes to snake up buildings and like he never goes in a straight line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just discovering new things. Like I was doing a lot of simming over the winter, and there was that thing that Quad Daddy calls it the daddy paddle. I think you called it like the Austin flip or something like that, where you go inverted and then you yaw and then you matty back through. You know?
Oh yeah.
And I'd been doing that in the sim for like a month, and I saw that overpass. I said, "This is the perfect place to actually like try and see if I could do it." And I screwed it up a lot of times, but then I finally got it down, and then it's okay. And then there was that little yellow thing, that arch. I'm like, I wonder if I can matty through something lower like that. It's because it's easy to do it through something higher. And I had a real hard time with doing that. So it's like, I want to attack these things one at a time. And then you mentioned the trailers. I'm like, shit, I forgot about the trailers. So I'm just going to see if I can go underneath it. And once I got everything down, I'm like, okay, let's see if I could just do this one after the other.
Okay.
Without destroying it, you know what I mean? And then at the end, when all my packs were done, somebody's like, oh, there's that dive gap, the staircase, and everybody was doing the staircase. I'm like, I gotta go. All my packs are done. Like next time. So next time, I'm probably gonna spend 90% of my time at that stairwell, because that was so much fun to watch you guys.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
I know that really gave you the yips, as Goldfinger says.
I tell my kids like about their games that it wouldn't be fun if it was too easy.
Yeah.
And I definitely had to repeat that to myself multiple times on the 45-minute drive home. That there's a reason why I like this, why I enjoy this hobby, because it doesn't always come as easy as I'd like it to be.
But that's one of the things when you're flying with other people. When you watched, I know, did you end up seeing Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I saw him murder it.
Yes. But when you see somebody else do it and you're like, okay, I know it's possible. Like maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but like I'm going to get this down, because there was a time where he was wrecking his shit going down that thing, and I think there was. I don't know.
No, I think his first.
Okay,
it was his first pack. It was like, he made it look effortless. But Jason's an alien, so we should not compare ourselves to F-Core.
That's true.
Comparison is the thief of happiness.
Yeah, it is. It's the thief of joy. Yeah. I'm about ready to score the next video. If you guys
Let's do it.
If the audience is ready, can you hit yes in the Mentimeter so that we know that you're out there ready to score? If you're new around here, go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Put in the code 51013199, or just hit the link that's in the YouTube description. We're with PDEVX. We're watching videos, and I am ready with the next one. So let's get to 5 yeses, and then and I'll reveal who's going next. And I'm glad that everything seems to be working.
No, don't say that. Just
last pack. One. Do you follow that last pack thing? Are you superstitious about that?
I mean, only a little bit.
Only a little bit.
We call them additional packs. See, I always have goggle packs in the bag, so technically it's not the last.
Oh, that's
You guys should go. You guys should go to the audience tips and tricks because Rob Groove addressed the last pack. How to never have that on you. So all right, we're at 8. So the randomizer. Go ahead.
I did see Rob Groove in here. He said he was feeling sick. It was like 5:30 in the morning for him. Dude is up joining our live stream. I hope you're feeling better, my dude.
Man,
Feel better,
in the
Rob,
chat. He was out with us too.
Yeah. Oh, Mando, what's up, my friend?
He hit that stairwell too, but that stupid ass pole.
The safety.
Who do we
pole.
have? Pitts Flying Eye.
Pitts Flying Eye FPV. I think it's the first time we're seeing Pitts Flying Eye. Welcome.
Look at all
He's
the
out of Europe.
colors on that quad.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Don't fear the
he's
ice.
tight.
This is really pretty.
Yeah. Agreed. I thought he was going for the Matty, but
The ice looks thin, like your quad would just break right through it.
it looks like it's thawing out. The ground's wet too. I'm glad that we moved off of that and we went to this obstacle.
This is a 1-pack?
Yeah, so
I
far
think so.
it's all been one pack. There's one guy that lives in this town that does graffiti.
I
Maybe
own this
two.
town, man.
Him and his buddy.
Me and my cousin own this town, bro.
They're just spraying over each other's stuff to have any sort of rivalry.
It's a war.
Okay, I gotta say, like, the image quality of this right now is like really capturing me. Just the reflection off the ice, just the dynamic range is everywhere. Like, I can see the detail in the clouds. I can kind of see the detail in the darks.
I like that late roll.
And like in the ice, the water's so clear you can actually see down into the depths.
I think that's what water's supposed to look like.
Like, I don't know where you live, Pitts Flying Eye, but that water's clean by you.
Is that just a flooded? No. Nice job, Pitts Flying Eye. All right, so if you're in Menti.com, go ahead and throw in your scores. Give Pitts Flying Eye some feedback. This is super critical. So everyone who participates here definitely wants more than just a pat on the back. And you can use the scoring form to message them and also comments in the chat. I know people have gone back to the replay to look at the comments that people put in while their video is playing. So this is a way for people to get feedback. And it's not to be mean-hearted. It's to help other pilots get better. So
yeah. It's like, I mean, we haven't really reiterated this in a minute, but you just going out to fly is a big win in itself, right? And this is us just trying to be, you know, the homies that are flying with you in the moment and thinking about how we can change things up to make it more interesting or better or push yourself.
Speaking of homies, you bring up a good segue. So I think, PDEVX, I met you in real life a couple years ago at West Coast Throwdown. I think that's the first time that we met in person. And I remember leaving that event and thinking, I really need to start fucking flying with people again. because at that point I think I wasn't flying. I was flying mostly solo, and I was like, yo, what these guys got is incredible. Like the amount of energy they're throwing at each other and the camaraderie and I remember saying coming out of that event, people are the accelerator, you know. So PDEVX, who do you typically fly with? What's the crew, you know? And just one more thing, I remember when we were at the drone park, Vanover said, this is like you guys are the best freestyle crew in the world. And I heard that and I was like, yeah, that's probably true, you know, at this point. So he said it and I agreed with it. And I agree with it. It'd be hard pressed to find another like geography based crew who throws down as hard as you guys do. But who's the crew?
So the main crew I would say is A-Tech, Shane Saviors, and then
he's a
Eric
beast.
Sackhoff. He's the one who owns the FPV park, the famous FPV park. If you've seen it in one of many videos. Got our buddy Tony, Speediest Weasel, and then we've got a big extended crew. A lot of people that we met at different events. Busy. Put on the spot. I got everybody. I got a name off.
No,
We
like
got TJ. We got TJ. We got Ritter. We got Cole.
You don't want to offend anybody.
I know.
Right now.
You can put me on the spot. There's so many. Yeah, but a lot of these guys we met like at FPV events. So like West Coast,
I remember you guys met Vizzy at West Coast Throwdown. Like
we were best friends. We were best friends immediately. That's it. That's how that works.
You guys met. He ripped. He was cool. I think that was the other thing too. Like people have to be pretty nice to one another, and you guys were like, you guys, Vizzy, you should come to the drone park. And like the next year,
I think the key is like finding people who have the same kind of thought process as you, like the same way that they want to do freestyle, the same way that they intend to fly, whether that's more safely or less safely or whatever, right? Like you want to find people who fly the same way you do, I guess. Not in like doing the same tricks and doing the same things, but like if you're the type who shows up at a parking lot and sees a car and is like, yeah, maybe we should fly, you probably want to fly with other people who are like that. If you're the type who's like, I'm gonna go bomb downtown and dive buildings or cars and stuff, that's all the power to you or whatever. But if you're that type of person, you probably want to fly with other people who are like that. So I think that's a big thing. It's like finding people who are trying to do the same type of thing that you're doing. There's a lot of different styles of FPV freestyle. Like some people are just out getting their 1-packs and doing just like daily rips, and that's awesome. That's fun. Like they're having a good time. Some guys are more like us, where we want to like elevate our flying. We want to get better and better and better every edit. We want to get our edits better. We want to get our builds better. And so we drive each other to do those things. But as far as like styles go, I think you should try to fly with people with different flying styles than you. So like Beck is a madman. He flies 1,000,000 miles per hour. I can hardly watch him in the goggles. He's flying so freaking fast. And it changes the way that I fly because I see him do something and he's doing things that I would never think of doing just because I'm so like trick based or like I'm flying a little slower. Like, so I pick up on his speed. I pick up on the types of big like hammer tricks, like huge dives, stuff like that. That's the stuff that he's really, really good at. And you like,
I think like, especially coming from like the BMX world, and this translates, I think, to FPV, skateboarding, like in everything. You want to kind of fly with people that are better than you. because then you're always like the ceiling is always raising, and you're always kind of chasing after that and realizing that you can achieve that more and more. You know, like if you're always hanging and flying with people that are like at your level or not, you know, as good, then it's like you're gonna plateau a little bit. So like, not that like flying with people that are new or whatever is not fun, because that's always fun, but you definitely want to try to go and reach out to people that you look up to and fly with them, because that's really going to accelerate your abilities.
Yeah, I think it's both, right? Like, I think there's something to be gained in inspiring and teaching and kind of breaking down, like, especially if you're with someone who is not as skilled as you and is asking you, for you to really kind of think about what you're doing so that you can communicate to them. I think that will clarify things for you. But I totally agree with you, Dan. Flying with those who inspire you or approach it completely different is also like a massive way, right? And so I think that was my mentality kind of walking out. I was like, man, I got to start flying with people again. But I kind of sent us off on a tangent. I want to get back to the scores. So 9 people have said that Pitt's Flying Eye, production quality of the video, they agree with Dan. You're really strong there. They love the speed that you're moving. I thought that you were covering a lot of ground. I loved how fast you were going, how low you were to everything. You touched the ice at some point. I love how you were able to get to the other obstacle.
Yeah.
So 100% agreement. But in terms of places of possible improvement, you may want to think about the variety as well as the difficulty of the maneuvers. I think that it was beautiful, but it had a cruisy kind of feel, right? And we can't ignore the fact that a lot of people who watch FPV freestyle come from these kind of progressive sport kind of backgrounds: BMX, rollerblading, skateboarding, snowboarding, extreme skiing, and seeing risk is something that kind of excites people. So something to think about.
Yeah, I think Pitt's like, if there's like a trick or something that you see other people doing that you wish you could do, like, I would just chase that. You know, like, yeah, like if it's like a Matty flip or a Rubik's Cube or whatever, just like on the next session that you go out and just try to do it 50 times.
Yeah,
you know?
I think when you fly by yourself, like when I started out too, I was just afraid to break anything. And then I was at Blue Star all the time over grass and stuff. And then when you fly with other people who are doing stuff that you wish you could do, it becomes like when you're next to them, I don't know if it's the energy or what, it becomes a monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. It's just like follow the pack. Like, okay, and now I'm going to break my shit, you know. And I don't know if it's just because you want to be cool or something like that, but, you know, you can't help but be inspired by other like-minded people who are a higher level than you. And it's, you know, like you guys too. I watched you guys in the goggles yesterday and, you know, saw you guys pulling off stuff. It's like, oh, maybe I can do something like that. And it's,
yeah,
you would grow
I think
that way.
Yeah, it's the dynamics of the group growth. So I'm happy that we have it here, but, you know, I'm definitely, I definitely think that there was a good model that I got a chance to see. And, you know, I see that happening in our own community. Mm-hmm. If you haven't already, in the Menti.com, Je ne sais quoi point, and we just define that as, did you feel it? Would you watch it again? Would you tell your friend to watch it? That's how I define that. Did it give you the feels for whatever reason? Who cares about the categories? So go ahead and vote there. And just looking at the chat here, Doom Rider, we've already referenced you once in the show, but he says, Confucius says to become a master, you must fly with masters. And a lot of folks are agreeing with that sentiment. All right. So moving on. Looks like it was a yes for the Je ne sais quoi. Good job, Pitts Flying Eye. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing more from you. If you're ready to score the next video, go ahead and hit the yes. PDEVX, I'm curious. Are you planning on hitting any real life events this year?
Yeah, at least a couple. So next I'll be at Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
Which if you've never been to Rampage, it's a blast. We, in particular in Oregon, we don't really have bandos. We have like one that's like okay, it's like 2 hours away, but it's not like a real bando. So being able to show up to a location with like this huge bando with all these crazy obstacles and just having free reign to fly wherever in there that you feel comfortable getting your quad back. It's just awesome. So, and just meeting all the other pilots was amazing. Last year was my first year. So I'm super stoked to go back with like a little more knowledge of how it all works.
I'm looking forward to Rampage again this year.
So
Yeah.
they're switching it up a little bit this year. The flight lines are moving around. They're going to be 2 Bandoland flight lines, and then they're going to add. They're moving the junkyard. I think it was the one that was over by the dormitories or whatever.
Yep.
They're moving that over by where 100 Gates was. I think they're doing less gates this year.
I liked 100 Gates. I like the challenge of doing 100 Gates.
I actually didn't go. I hear it's a pain to set up. The logistics of it aren't great. But one super cool thing that they're doing this year is they've invited a drift car driver out, and so they'll be moving a drift car throughout different. I think there's 3 flight lines that they're going to have a drift car on. So yeah, you can chase drift cars.
That is really fucking cool.
I hear about these guys who have like open access to like drift tracks. Like Drew, when I was in Orlando last, he was like, "Oh yeah, we have a track we can just go down to any day that we want." And like here, you need like all your insurance, you need your 107, you need like all the permits. Like they, for some reason, they don't want us chasing their cars. So I'm excited to finally try a drift car. I know there's probably people in here who they've just done like a ton of them. But
that's amazing.
So you're going to Rampage. Did I miss another one? Are you doing another one? Did I miss that? Sorry.
Yeah. In August is West Coast.
So you're doing West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast Throwdown. It's 3 hours south of Portland, Oregon. It's a big camping event. They rent out the whole park. It's on a river bend. So we're like enclosed away from everybody. They got 3 flight lines, I believe, 3 or 4. They've got racing. They've got freestyle contest, X-class racing. There's rumors there could be Street League racing this year.
Oh yeah. The organizer's really into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of just different types of flying and lots of fun camping, just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right. So you guys ready to watch another video?
Yes. Let's do another one.
Let's do it. So this is a new one, a new person to the stream. JinxFPV, welcome. I don't think we've ever seen Netcat on the stream before.
Doom Rider is saying, "Oh, PDEVX spilled the beans. You done some bean spilling. Drift Rod and a few others are gonna be at Rampage, aka."
Oh my god! Watch him, buddy. Oh my god! You know what you just did, right? You don't know what you did? I don't care. Oh my god! I was.
I love it. I don't care.
Good. You went through the fucking thing, bro. Oh my god. That was sick. This whole package.
Everyone needs to find this buddy.
Nice.
Yeah, right?
Oh. Yeah, boy.
This one's called Reckinson.
Oh.
Takes Billy Hackett for a ride.
Oh.
Is that is Billy Hackett, right?
Oh, that was so perfect.
You guys spectate when you're flying?
God, is this how y'all?
We do.
Oh.
Well,
No.
I think it's funny because there's like no footage in this. This is a minute and 19 long.
Oh, it's this good though.
This is awesome.
That's my into a bitch. Oh my god, I'm tearing up
So-
in the goggles. You get the audio in that one?
Dude,
that was
that
awesome.
that's
Oh.
everything right
That's
there.
the essence of a good session right there.
Yeah, that's everything right there. I love that. Can we watch that again?
Sure. I don't think we got to score it, but
No.
but you brought up a good question.
Holy shit. No way, dude.
Yeah.
You should have fucking recorded this fucking.
Whenever we
fact.
did
my
hang out,
God.
and fly together
my
prior
God.
to
You
me
know what you just
encountering
did, right?
the Portland
You
crew,
don't know what you
it was
did?
very kind of disjointed. And at the
Oh
time,
my
there wasn't
God,
many
I wish I
people
would've
flying.
DVR'd
There weren't many people flying DJI.
Holy
But since that West
Good.
Coast 2 years
You
ago,
went through the
a lot more
fucking
people have
thing,
adopted
bro.
DJI,
Oh my
like
God.
the first version, and it became a
That was
lot
sick.
simpler
Full package then.
for people to share and ride along.
Nice.
I think, and we were riding along with each other quite a bit in our like group sessions.
Yeah, boy.
But what I'm noticing now is with the
Oh.
proliferation of additional digital
Oh!
like
Whoa, that
technologies,
was so
it's starting to
perfect.
splinter
Oh
again.
my God, is
Um,
this how y'all?
Where like a couple of the guys are using like the V2 goggles, so it's really difficult, to kind of get back to being able to ride along with everybody.
I want to
Yeah.
know where this spot is.
That's my idea, bitch.
Well,
my
Billy
God,
Hackett.
I'm
Billy
tearing
Hackett
up
is
in the
a
goggles.
ripper.
Get the audio in that
I
one?
got to fly with him at Rampage too. He's a fun dude. That was, man. That's just like a slice of life moment right there. That was very enjoyable to watch. I give that 3s across the board.
It all benefits. Way to go. Thank you for the submission, Netcat. Moving on. Let me see here. Danish Stallion comes up next. So we're just gonna pop. I'm gonna say je ne sais quoi yes on that one.
That was a definite yes to me
All right.
personally.
Danish Stallion, one of the top 10 finalists in the video contests. If you guys don't know who Danish Stallion is at this point, where have you been? You must be new here. So,
Dude. I saw Danish. So he's been flying the O3 air unit. Speaking of all the like newer systems and how things are splintering again.
yeah.
He's been flying the O3 air unit, and since he's been doing that, he printed like a horse head thing that he
I saw that.
mounted on top of his quad with LEDs within it. It's pretty sick. It's
Nice.
pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Got to use the space. All right. So here's this one's called Black Sabbath Shredding. Last pack, DJI O3 2.7, 60 frames per second.
All right.
You gonna hang on to the action camera, PDEVX, or you gonna move over to the O3? What's your plan?
Ooh, no, GoPro.
Stay
Can't
with
give up
GoPro.
that quality.
And you've never been tempted by the action too, huh?
No, I'm not. I don't really feel like weight is holding me back. I like the weight that my quads are at with like a Hero. I mean,
You see all
I
up
wouldn't
on your
rock.
quads?
I don't know what the all up is. I know the dry weight's like 435 or something like that.
Oh, that's not that bad.
I wouldn't rock like a full Hero 10 or 11, but like when I was running Hero 7, it was good, and now I'm on the little mini.
Oh, okay.
Hero 11, yeah.
That makes sense why you're at the 430. No, your quad's light then, because I think the Burnside I just built is what, I think 430.
I've seen Danish fly this spot before, and he's definitely getting more
Oh, that's
comfortable
cool.
with it. That was sick,
Facing the leaves. Yes.
dude.
I thought that was going in the bush for sure. Nice.
Ah. What is this building that you're just bashing around, not giving a shit?
It's an elderly community. He's terrorizing them every Sunday morning. It looks empty. There's no one in the parking lot.
Dude.
Must be a Sunday.
Yeah, right.
So I've seen him fly this spot a couple times now. So he's definitely, this is like his local spot.
Get in there. Oh, I wanted you to go all the way in. He's flying a lot faster than he was.
Yeah.
God, it's great. One pack, right?
So far, yeah. I believe so.
Like how close he gets on all the inverted stuff.
Spatial awareness.
That's the thing, especially when you go and fly a spot a couple times. I generally like to fly I'm not a one and done type of person. Like I don't feel like I can generally fly a spot once and then come away with something I'm happy with.
Oh,
Everyone vote.
I don't think I've ever like gone to a spot for the first time and come out with like a full blown edit or something. Like maybe a line.
Yeah.
And I won't feel great about it, you know.
Do you post it? What do you do in that situation? You go to a spot, you get a line, you like the line, but not enough for like a 2-minute, 3-minute edit. What happens? What happens in that case?
It sits on the hard drive until I've got enough matching kind of footage.
Matching in what way?
Or it sits there forever.
Matching in what way? Like, I guess I'm trying to like understand how you categorize the stuff you capture and, you know, how it all comes together into finished products that you then upload.
I mean, part of it's just feel, I guess, you know, like, do you feel like these clips kind of have a similar jive, I guess? I don't know. Like I tend to group edits with similar like types of freestyle tricks. Like if I'm doing Matties or trippies, right? Like I might have more Matties in one. If there's a variety, right? Like so if I'm doing Matty combos, I might group them all into like one edit. The lines that have those. I think a lot of that just happens with like over time, your flying style, you know, changes, and so you end up with like little pockets of like, hey, I was doing a bunch of wall rides, and so now I've got this cool wall ride video. I'll put that out.
Okay.
And, yeah, so some of it's just natural, like because of, you know, how your style might change over time, and then some of it's intentional, just thinking like, oh yeah.
So do you have a folder or like a project that just is like cool lines that haven't? Is there like a folder on your hard drive?
I haven't figured out like the best way to do that. No, it's just trying. I remember like what I've got. Like
Wow. Okay.
It's getting real thick right now. I've got. I haven't really put out a lot of content in the last year, but I do have a lot. I've been flying. I'm out there, and I have a big folder. I think it's like 3 terabytes.
Wow.
Whoa. About a year. I got about a year worth of some content I gotta dump.
Do you feel pressure to one up yourself, or I guess, you know, are you comparing? Are you thinking about your last video, I guess, or are you? Because I know that there's some people who are high volume, very frequent, and there's folks who are, you know, I mean, I like if we looked at Matty stunts, you know, it was like when he had a new video out at his height, it was like, you know, I was like, I gotta watch this on my big TV, like, you know, you set aside time for it.
Like my preference is that, you know, the next video is better than the last, But then again, like, I don't know, that's all preference, and like things change over time. You know, like you get hyped on a type of trick, and then you're like less hype on it. Like, I don't know.
Interesting. So Danish, let's look at some scores.
Let's. I gotta say,
Yeah.
let's take a look there.
Danish is killing it. Speed. Oh, I love that people called that out. You're fucking crushing it. Good for you.
Going
Like,
so fast.
you're going so fast. I love it. And other people love it too. Intentionality. It looks like you are dialed. I think I made a comment. It looks like you know the spot. You know, like even the stuff that you were going into blind, it was like you knew exactly where you were. So, in terms of areas of improvement, originality and production quality of video. Production quality of video being kind of the big one.
Here's what I
do
gotta
you think?
say
Yeah.
about that. Here's what I gotta say about that. Like, okay, so production quality, the category itself, like it's like kind of misleading. It's not like you need to be shooting it with an Arri Alexa or a Red Komodo or whatever. You need to be giving your audience a little bit of something extra in there. And when I'm watching your video here, for this instance, the flying is fucking awesome. You're going fast. You're hitting all these gaps. It's really difficult. The one thing that I wish, production quality wise, is that like you were giving us something that like clued me into who you are. You know what I mean? Like give me a little flavor of like who Danish Stallion is. And I always think back to like you know, I grew up watching BMX videos. And so like I would watch the Little Devil Criminal Mischief video, and they open up the video with like fucking buying a beater car and crashing it into a bunch of shit and doing BMX tricks on top of it and whatever. Like infusing more of the voice of who you are as a person is actually very like enticing for FPV pilots.
It's the
like
human element.
Yeah.
You know? And going back to that story, my confession about not knowing who Phantom was, even though we were hanging out every night around the campfire. Like I didn't know because I didn't watch a ton of his videos, and in the videos that I watched a couple times, he never showed himself, right? Like there was no face shot. So I couldn't connect to the person, and it was just, there was this YouTube video, this YouTube personality that was able to do this Trictionary, right? And I'm not saying like I want to watch vlogs, because I mean, in all transparency, like I don't want to watch a vlog. You know, like I don't want to watch your life.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
You know, but like
I
having
want
your face on
snippets,
camera, or
tastes.
yeah, just the story of the day, and we saw a little bit of you at the end. And Dan, I've flown with you, so I know who you are. But I think if you got to think about who are the people, and like, you know, PDEVX, like he's on, you're on like the Rotor Riot episodes.
True.
So you know, like people can connect to PDEVX, they know who he is, and I think that's the human element. Like when I was producing music professionally, like I made all these like really complex instrumentals and shit, and I was like, why don't people dig this? You know, it's like, oh man, this is really solid work. And then as soon as I put in vocal samples, like just human voice, like the shit, just people just started gravitating towards it, because people, the human element is really important, and I think that's, you know, including that. So Janessa Qua's a yes on this one.
Yeah.
But I think that it was a 2.8 on the last one. It gets a 2.9.
Much like the whiskey, without any ice, without any rocks in it, it sets my mouth on fire.
Right. That's right.
I like that one a lot.
James looks confused.
No, I know the fire.
Oh, you know the fire. Okay.
I was waiting for the graphic.
You don't see the graphic.
You don't see the graphic here.
But it happens. It happens on
Okay,
the
I see it
stream.
now. All right. Yeah. It's delayed.
It just
for
looks
me,
really
yeah.
odd. It looks really odd when we do it in airtime. It's just Dan yelling fire. And then me with a
It's
lighter.
very odd for everyone that's not the viewing audience. Even for the viewing audience, it might be a little odd, but
fucking the look on Heads from Infinity Loop's face when Dan did the fire, because Heads is not familiar with yeah, it's like there's so many sounds. There's so many sounds in here. Because he was challenged with like the volume, like everything was just like crushing him. He couldn't hear our voices. So so Danish, nice job. Looking forward to seeing you. I hope to see you at Rampage this year, if not sooner. If you're ready to score the next video, say yes. And we usually do a 2-hour stream. Dan and I don't know if you guys saw the chat. Dan and I are gonna go on for another half hour. We had a whole bunch of shit that we had to get through. But I don't want to, Jinx, I know that you tend to need to peel off. And James, you're more than welcome to stay. I'm having a good time talking to you.
Yeah.
I think we're going to watch some more videos. But if you guys need to peel out, just let us know.
I'm down.
Hell yeah, dude. James, are you in? PDEVX? Sorry.
I'm down.
Yeah, sorry. I said your government
down.
name. All right. Yeah.
I gotta say, the trip that I took to West Coast Throwdown this past year, I was going out with some bit of skepticism, having not met anybody before, and just being like, I'm just gonna show up and fly with these dudes. I hope they're cool.
Did I have to sell you on that? Did I sell you on that? I think I had to sell you a little bit on that. No,
I kept it internal.
Okay.
And then, man, you guys are cool as hell. Everyone out there on the West Coast there in Oregon, you guys are a solid crew.
I found that
times.
FPV is kind of just a safe bet.
Yeah.
People are all nice. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever encountered, at least in person, anybody who's like a douche.
I don't think so either.
Even the people who some might consider douchey, once you meet people in person, they're not so douchey.
They're not.
Well, I wish that were my experience, but it's not. But you know what? 99% of the people I've met are amazing.
For the most part.
For the most part. Who's ready to watch another video? Sorry. Okay,
Let's
here we
do
go.
it.
The randomizer has chosen yet another new phase. I'm not even I adhere to the randomizer. I'm not doing this on purpose. It's chosen Finley FPV. Finley FPV. I don't think we've watched anything. Welcome, Finley. Kiss Ultra. First flights with the Kiss Ultra V2. Did we watch this last time? No.
I think we did. He's flying at that park in California.
I removed that. My bad. So my bad for forgetting that we watched you last stream, Finley. So there's that. And moving on. There's nothing to be said. All right. Next up, we got Uptime FPV.
Yeah.
We didn't watch him last stream, did we?
No, we didn't. This is the first time. Uptime is one of my Vanny style teammates. And Uptime, he made such an impression on us. I remember for the Rippies at Rampage.
I thought for sure we were both gonna lose to him.
Oh my gosh, this dude is so good.
Yeah, and then we
Young
find out
buck.
that he's like 15 or 16 or something.
Yeah.
And
Do you know Uptime, James?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember where was he at Rampage? Forget where
He was at Rampage.
Yeah, that's where
he was one of Bubby's crew.
Yeah.
All right. So this one's called I'm Back. FPV freestyle.
So what's the amount of time that has to go by before it's like I'm back video,
A year.
It wasn't a year. I swear I saw something within the year. I feel like it's been gone for the season.
So do you have to considering he's 15, 16, is he closer to dog years at that point?
It might be a percentage of his life.
Yeah.
Because like 8 months to him is not the same as 8 months to me. Yeah. Yeah, we all saw the same thing. Oh, the inner dads in us. Oh,
I like the shift
I like
in
this track.
scenery.
this track is sick. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. This has a different flight feel than the other stuff I've seen from Uptime.
A little slower flow.
A little like more flowy.
He was doing Spang stuff before.
Yeah, I will say. So I know he does a good bit of racing, and the thing that I noticed from freestyle pilots that do a lot of racing is that they are very like their movements are very articulate. Like it's very precise everything they do.
Oh, that's the transition.
So I feel like it started really flowy and then shifted into like more technical and like more intentional tricks.
Yeah. That's a really great observation. And I don't know if I'm seeing it because you said it or but all right, so we're at 2.5 minutes. We stop on the 2.5 minute mark. That was Uptime. So everyone, if you're still with us, go ahead and go score that in menti.com.
I liked
you know
that
the drill.
one, man.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was a good one.
Is he 17 now, or is he still 16? I have to say
He's
that
a
I
young
felt
buck.
weird. I felt weird at Rampage because we saw his videos, and then I was like on Instagram, you know, and the cell service was kind of crappy at Rampage, and I was like, yeah, man, I want to hook up with you, bro. Like, we should fly together. And I'm like, I'm conscious of the fact that like I'm like hitting up someone who's not, you know, I'm like, it's weird to me, but whatever. And he did get back, you know, it was cool. All right, votes are coming in. Jinx, what do you think? Anything stick out to you on that one?
I just like that whole robotic kind of like mix the Spang in there, and just how like you just like move, like do it, like, I don't know, it's so slow and smooth. It's like pop locking, like you guys were saying in the one 2 weeks ago. It's like the equivalent of pop locking. The whole Spang thing.
The thing that sticks out to me is the accuracy of it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everything is landing at like the perfect 180 or 90 or whatever, you know?
It's super robotic, but it looks good when it's done the right way. Like a video that's 100% Spang, I just can't get with, because I can only take so much of it. But if they mix it into something else, then it's, you know, there's a place for it.
Yeah. What do you see when you look at that, James? I feel like it's fairly different from your flying style. Not completely different, but I don't know. What do you pick up on when you see that?
Well, like I said, like it seemed to shift partway through, and that's when I kind of got more hype. Like I like a good flow video, but I also like to kind of like see myself in a video, you know, and see like, oh, I would like to try a trick like that, or I would do something like that. And so yeah, that's kind of like what stood out the most, is when you start doing like the Matty combos, really like lined up perfectly, and just seemed really intentional. Like there was some forethought before going into the line. I would have liked to have seen that earlier, I feel like a good banger trick like that, like a good combo can like draw you in immediately, right? And like make you want to stick around. Not that I didn't want to stick around, like it's really good flow, but when you're scrolling through videos for like the ones that you want to watch, having like some of that more technical stuff up front, I think can kind of like draw a viewer in.
It's hard when you do a video that's like in a field, right? Around trees and whatever. I mean, because there is the danger factor of it all.
Yeah, I mean, he did change up the scenery. I don't know if it was a different actual location, but at least a different set of trees, you know?
Season.
Yeah. Seems really like flat, the color. You guys,
I know he likes to fly a session. He's
one
of those people that romanticizes the session for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Looking at the tail of the tape, I think the audience is feeling what the hosts are. Intentionality feels very dialed, very controlled. And I have a tendency to agree towards as we get later in the 2.5 minutes, we start to see some lines that I think that you've kind of picked out. In terms of areas of improvement uptime, originality, I think that echoes kind of what James said. You're fighting the scroll, you know, you're fighting the YouTube feed where there's a lot of content, and being able to grab an audience some way. And some people do it with B-roll, some do it with editing, some do it with whatever, dialogue. But the originality of it all. I mean, I think one of the videos that we were most stoked on was two guys, you know, we weren't even watching the FPV
we weren't even watching flying at all.
We were watching two guys like communicate, one guy reacting, and like the originality of that, you know. Would I watch 15 videos in a row of that?
No.
Fuck.
But that's a perfect lead in to a video. Like if you want to start a video like that and then like drop right into the content after like 5-10 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
That's a great way to start a video.
That's a fantastic way to start.
In fact, that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen.
Oh, you did that. Oh, yeah. Oh, you went through the hole. And then I thought we were going to go through the hole, you know?
Yeah.
So area of something that you may want to think about uptime. And then I think the other one is variety, maneuvers, obstacles, locations. I'll leave that one to you in terms of kind of how you feel about it. But we'll go ahead and advance that in terms of the genetic quad point. Did the audience feel it? Would they share it, etc.? But
a lot of what makes a good tree spot is honestly it's just time of day, lighting.
Yeah.
Like if the lighting would have been perfect for that edit, that would have been a really epic like flight, I think. So go out at golden hour, everybody.
Your 30 minutes to make your tree spot look good.
Yeah, make sure you nail it.
Pressure.
You got 2 packs.
And don't go with too many people. All right, so Genesis Quad was a yes on that one. If you're ready to see the next video, go ahead and hit yes, and we'll get it teed up. Before it gets too late, PDEVX, I would love to ask you kind of from an FPV perspective, either from the multiple organizations that you work with or just your own personal stuff. We've talked about the events you're going to be at. What are you most excited about in FPV these days? I mean, like, you know, is there anything specific? I typically ask this before we get on the live stream, but you know, anything that we should be definitely talking about in the world of PDEVX that you want to plug?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I'm real bad at this kind of stuff.
Cool. I saw your build video on the Rotor Ride channel.
Don't read the comments.
Why?
Yeah, I got roasted real hard, real hard.
Really? What?
Well, I don't really care about soldering. I had a lot of really bad solder joints.
You even said in the video, don't be mean to me. You're like,
they came hard. They came so hard for me, and I felt it.
I was
Just
looking
an
at your
extra
video 'cause I
drop
was-
of flux and you're good.
I'm never gonna change. No, they always work. I've never had a quad fall out of the sky, but we did develop a strap that I've been using to take quads.
Wait. Can we go to zoom in, Dan? Can we look at the strap that he's talking about?
Let me hold on. Let me grab a fresh one. Hold on.
All right, I want to see this strap.
They've developed a strap?
This is an important thing, actually. It's more important than it sounds. At least it could be if it's a really dope strap.
Is he making a strap right now? He's building a strap right now.
I had to stitch them together. Yeah. No, it's nothing
so
special. So if you guys have ever used the Swagger straps from TBS, it's real similar to that. But the main.
No, I haven't. I don't know. I don't
loop.
know.
Yeah, so it's got a really, really thick buckle.
Yes.
Yes. So if you've ever flown toilet tank, one issue is that so you have one strap that's holding your lipo down, and it's holding it front to back.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a forward impact, it puts a lot of stress on the buckle. And so if you've ever seen like the flimsy metal buckles,
yes,
I don't have one close to me because I don't use them anymore.
They pull apart.
Yeah, I break those super quick, and they're supposed to be like really durable. I was using like RDQ had like the Kevlar ones. I would bust those. So yeah, having a super thick buckle, and then like a nice thick rigid fabric. So it doesn't have any flex because what we found trying some other materials is that it has even just a little bit of flex, and you take a hard impact, just that little bit is enough to let the lipo slide out of the side. So I like having it just like as
when you say flex, you mean stretch.
Stretch, yes, yeah. So the material will stretch as you like go to tighten it down over time, and you know every time you cinch it, it's stretching it out, and it impacts. That little bit of give allows the lipo to slip out. So having something that's super rigid like this.
Is this strap available?
Yeah, so this is in the Rotorite store. It's got my name on it because they said, "Would you like to put your name on it?" And I said, "Duh." But I put it to where you won't see it when you have it on the quad, and the only thing you see is the nice Rotorite logo. And it's kind of cool because it's oriented in a way that it like sticks upright.
Oh,
like
that looks kind of sick. That's
so
sweet.
it's like a nice clean. Like I didn't want too much logo on there. Like I hate straps that just have huge writing of like, look at my brand. Everybody needs to see my brand. So
I feel that way
something that's like a little bit cleaner.
I feel that way about a lot of things, like especially gimbals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Logos on gimbals is a strong point for me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I saw them in person. I'm not a fan of that logo. It's
they're sick
like
gimbals though.
Gimbals.
They're great. They got the metal clicky click. They feel smooth. Yeah. Pyrodrone makes a wonderful set of gimbals for the Tango 2 or Mambo. They really are awesome. But yeah, that's great. Actually, I love the idea of the strap there. And it makes a lot of sense. The stretch over time. I will say that since I've switched to a toilet tank setup, lipo ejections have become less of a thing for me.
Yeah, so they slide out less because you don't have, like when you crash going forward, it tends to slide, but it's sliding against, it's usually like when you get into like a spin, right? Like so
You're
if
right.
you hit something and start spinning out, then it's going to fling it out the side.
Yeah. But anyway.
I not to get too technical, but maybe people are digging this. I have the question. So why do you orient the battery strap in that direction?
So that the lipo will run that way.
No. Not
versus the other way?
Yeah, versus because like on this one, and this Newbie Jones strap is like exactly everything you hate.
See,
in
that's
terms
wrong.
of like
That's
branding.
wrong.
That is very
Right.
wrong. That kills
but why-
me to look at it.
I know, but why?
I don't think it actually matters. I like to pull away from the camera. Like there's more room to cinch down the.
It gives you more leverage.
Yeah, because you can kind of like pull this way instead of towards your camera, so you have more room to cinch it down.
Yeah, and then when it actually lands on the sticky part of the Velcro, you actually have more surface area that it's attached to.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of Velcro attachy area because the battery doesn't change size.
No, the battery doesn't change size, but then the amount that you're running the Insta, so you feel it less. But if someone was running like a full-size GoPro or something, then you have a lot more camera in the way.
Gotcha. That's what I'm.
And you can get better leverage because you can pull it lower.
Because you pull back. Yeah, we're right. Because you're pulling down, straight back and down, where you don't have that if there's the bigger camera. Got it. All right.
But the other thing we did was the space right here. This is like just enough space between the Velcro for your buckle to be in the right spot for like a 1100 mAh 6S pack. And then just enough Velcro. They call it the hook. That's the rough side.
Yeah.
So there's enough of that to give like a nice secure hold. Some of the straps, like they've got too much. They don't have enough of the hook side, and then they'll have like a huge space like between the loop side is the other side.
Yes.
And that can be super frustrating when it like doesn't line up with where you think it should when you have it through the buckle. It's really tailored to my flying. So it's like 6S 1100 mAh packs.
Does that come with your frame, or is that something that if people buy your frame, they would get that additionally as a separate item?
So the frame that I fly, this is the hook 2 from Prior Frames. It's not like my frame or anything. That's it's just their thing. But if you do like my Pro Spec, I think they call it, Pro Spec kit. I think I should make sure, but you should get one.
Be sure to load it into your cart.
Yeah.
Those hook frames are pretty sick.
Yeah, super premium, durable. I like the Torx hardware. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but
it's aluminum hardware
of Torx.
Yeah.
Head. So it's you can really like cinch the arms down like super tight, and it like makes it more rigid.
That's what makes the aluminum hardware make sense. Because if it's regular hex, you strip the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But with Torx, you can actually tighten it down, and you don't worry about that as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm psyched on the battery strap, though. I ain't gonna lie, you might have sold me on some battery straps.
It's a good price. I think they're like $4. It's not like crazy.
$4?
$4.
Shut up! They're not $4. You're lying to us right now.
They're $4.
They're $4. I'm gonna go to Rotor Riot, and if they're not $4 on the website, if they're not $4 on the website, I'm gonna raise some hell.
Yeah.
Supply chain issues.
Yeah. Well, the limited edition ones, the ones that I touched, there's $10. I'm always surprised at how much FPV stuff costs because I had no idea what it was going to cost.
Get the fuck out! It is $4 exactly, like you said. Not even $3.99. It's $4 on the dot. Hell yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's get on to the next video.
Your PDEVX strap Obviously, a lot of thoughts gone in. And up next, the randomizer has chosen Rob Groove.
Ooh,
Wait, we
okay.
did this one last one. No, we did this one. Corfu skateboarding versus FPV. Sorry, maybe
Yes,
I pulled
we've
the
done that
wrong. Maybe I pulled the wrong Rob Groove. Give me 1 second. There was a lot of entries this week.
You guys want a preview of the PDEV motor that's gonna come out?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So we got
When is that coming out?
gold and black, flat black. It's gonna have, you know, like logos
Flat
and
black
stuff
is
on
sick.
it. Yeah.
Where's the gold?
It's a matte gold and black.
So
the gold's
here's
on
something.
the spokes.
Here's something I'm curious about. So, I mean, there are only so many motor manufacturers out there.
Yeah.
I know there are certain motor manufacturers that do a lot of the curved bell design, right? T-Motor doesn't really seem to do that, but I don't know if that's different on your motor that's going to be coming out, and if you know anything
what do you
about
mean?
the philosophy behind it.
Like why
So
they
there's
don't
like
do
this
them all rounded like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair. I appreciate your honesty there.
Probably
You could have
has
said
to do with,
anything.
like, the CNC, you know, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just recently, so I made the switch to 6S, and I had the T-Motor Pacer V3s that I had been sitting on, and I was trying them out, and I noticed they're the first bells in a while that were like flat and not curved. These are like Zing 2s right here that had the curve.
Oh yeah, all the
And so
T-Motors have the flat side.
Right, and so
Yeah.
like, you know, the thing with the curved bells is they're sold as being stronger because of the curve in there. Sure, yeah. Right, yeah.
It's 26% stronger.
Yeah.
I don't buy it, but whatever.
27% stronger.
You don't feel like it makes any sort of difference personally?
Usually for stuff like that, it's all marketing. It's not.
28% stronger. All right, I got the next one. So we watched Rob.
When does the PDEVX motor come out?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
They're making it right.
We'll be on the lookout.
Just buy the battery straps. Just buy the battery straps.
China New Year and stuff, you know, so it slowed everything down. So they're just getting back into production now, and
Gotcha.
They're making it. Yeah. So as soon as it's out,
what's
I
the
think they
spec?
just drop them usually.
What's the spec that you fly?
Yeah, this is 23. So I usually fly the F40. That's what I was flying before. Oh, by the way, this is a Hype Train, but it's made by T-Motor.
Okay.
So the Hype Train branded T-Motor, 2306.5, 1985 kPe.
Oh,
the number doesn't mean anything. Wow. It's just this is when I was born, so it's a fun number. Yeah.
85. Me
At a certain
bro.
point within like a certain range of the kV you're looking for, it's like you can just have fun with the number. Like it's not precise. Like if you get one that says it's like 1666 kV, it's not 1666 kV. It's close.
1650 probably.
Yeah, they get as close as they can, and then that's it. So.
What month in 85?
August.
Oh, we talked about this.
We've
Yeah,
done
we
this.
are.
Yeah.
The
we've
last
done this.
4 of your social security number.
We're both August 85 babies. That's what makes us so awesome.
Wait, you guys aren't related and twins? All right. We got time for one more. So Rob Groove, my bad. We got you last stream. This one is another new one. Fuck yeah. SnipFPV. I love all the new names. This is awesome. Doctor says I'm too addicted to FPV. FPV freestyle GoPro. Hashtag. Is that the logo? It's a nice logo.
Oh, dude, that's
like that.
sick.
That was a nice lead-in.
Good song.
So I love that we're getting so many new pilots, but man, the names are getting harder to remember because they're all like really similar. You guys notice that? I swear there's like a loose FPV, and then there's like 2 lucid FPVs, and then there's lucky FPV, and like I get them mixed up all the time. It's really hard.
Oh, I'm really enjoying this right now, though. Is this a super short one?
I love them.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that's exactly
That
how
was
long it needed to be.
super short.
Yeah. Go ahead and score that one. Let's play that one again.
Yeah, let's do that one again.
Fun.
The animation up front I thought was really dope.
Yeah, it's super dope.
What's cool is it's like it's an animation on the clip of flying, right? Like you didn't need to plan any B-roll or anything like that.
It's stuff like that I think gives you a little bit of insight into their personality. You know?
It definitely sets a tone.
That's cool.
This has all been one pack, right?
Yeah. Just one line. Here's my one bit of constructive feedback here, and it's not a critique at all. It's kudos. There was a natural like shape to the place, you know, like, and we followed the shape of the place, and I think that's something that some people do really organically and naturally, and some people kind of struggle with it because they see all the big things and they pinball back and forth. And I think it was also in Pitt's Flying Eye too, right? Like he organically moved to the second obstacle, but in this 1 minute and 3 seconds, it was really satisfying because there was a start point and he explored the different sections as he moved through a space, and we didn't go back to any of the other things. And not to say that going back to things is a bad thing, but it's more of that's how one audience member, me, perceive that, which is like, oh man, we're going on a journey through this Brando, and you're doing cool things around the different pieces of this Brando, and it feels really fresh. And I happen to see that it was 1 minute 3 seconds, and I'm a big fan of like, I don't know, I'm changing, you know, like I used to be quantity over quality, now I'm like super like just try to get what you're saying out there. If it's only 1 minute, then it's only 1 minute. If it's 2 minutes, then it's only 2 minutes. If it's 3 minutes, then it's probably too long. You know, but you know, like I'm okay with things being short. So that's my feedback.
No, I like that a lot.
That's a good tip for like any FPV edit is like you can always make it shorter, and then you'll just end up with only the good stuff, you know? Like if you've got a 3 minute edit and you feel pretty good about it, if you turn that into a 2 minute edit, you probably feel great about it just because it's all your best stuff. You don't want to chop it up too much to where it's just like single tricks or anything like that. But like if you've got 4 lines, you know, maybe just 3 of them are good, or maybe like a couple tricks towards the end of that line are just kind of extra, you know. So if you just kind of cut away, you can end up with like a better product.
Yeah, 100%.
The audience who's been hanging with us, we appreciate all the votes. They love the speed that you're flying through. They love the originality. I'm surprised that production wasn't higher on that. But yeah, speed and originality. I think area of area of focus maybe for improvement is just variety. I don't think it's in the location or the obstacles. Maybe it's just in the maneuvers, right? So take what you will from it. But nice score, 2.6 average score. And then Genetic Quad Point. Yeah, we really enjoyed that. Awesome to be exposed to that SnipFPV. I hope that's not the last thing we see from you.
Yeah, and Snip, again, like that little bit of animation that you did up there on front gave me a clue as to kind of like a little bit of who you are, you know? And I think I think that's important. Giving us a little something extra outside of just your flying. People can show that through a number of ways, B-roll, whatever. And you
What's
chose to
up,
do it through
guys?
animation. Yeah.
Big what's up. Man, there's probably a lot of people who have never seen a Wild Willie. What's up, you know?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like full what's up.
They don't get the reference.
Whatever happened
So,
to Wild Willie? I want to know.
he got married, didn't he? He was working for Flight One.
Yeah, he got
Getting
married to a
married
drone
doesn't-
pilot.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, she was a pilot too.
Yeah.
No
They were
shit.
multi GPIO one year before they got married, and then
I think it's hard
I think he
to
moved to
fly
Australia.
in Australia. I think Australia is hard, like with the laws, and I don't know, maybe just
No
moved on.
shit. Well,
Don't say that's a carbon cage. Genesis Quasi, yes on that one. Good
hell
job.
yeah.
All right. Well,
What does that? What does that put us at though? Like, what was Snip at?
So we got the 0.1 here, and then we go back and we get the 2.6, so 2.7.
2.6 to
Total.
2.7. I
That's a
mean,
2.7.
to me that feels like things are heating up because that shit was fire. I like that.
It's fireproof.
Yeah.
I actually really like that one a lot, Snip.
The fire is way better when you're a viewer. It doesn't have the same energy. You're really having to like fake it. Oh, there it is. Hey.
You're catching
all
it
right.
on the delay.
We went the extra 35. It's been a really good conversation, and this was a packed show. 2 weeks. DQuad team DQuad is going to be here, taking over. We'll chop it up, get to learn about the DQuad brand, the pilots, the whole lifestyle. Join the Discord server. I think we're going to do more in terms of video contests. So if you have a little folder of all your bestest stuff, start filling it up on your hard drive. And I want to say thank you to PDEVX for hanging out. And
Thanks for having me.
support a dude. Go and grab his strap, buy his boat kit.
And his motors when they're out.
Motors. This is a person that everyone should be supporting.
The strap. The
Or
strap
just-
is like.
or just fly whatever. I don't know.
But the strap thing.
It's a ringing endorsement.
The strap
Or
thing. I
whatever.
can't stress the importance of having a good battery strap. I'm not even like saying this just because PDEVX is our guest tonight. I can't tell you
I have
like
heard.
the search I've gone on before for a good quality battery strap.
You know, it's surprisingly personal. In the Gem Fan chat, Mike from Gem Fan, he put a feeler out there like, "What do you guys like about straps?" It was all over the board. Like,
No shit.
people like very particular things about their straps. So one strap is not like one size fits all for everybody. A lot of people like that Gem Fan with the rubber. I hate the rubber weave. I hate it.
I like
Really?
it. It's been doing all right for me, but like
I don't like the way it wears out.
yeah, all the rubber like
It gets all-
splinters and
yeah.
breaks off. Yeah.
Yeah, which is dumb because that's just looks, but I don't like the way it looks when it doesn't happen.
I'm on the other end of the spectrum. All right. Mr. PDEVX, anything else that we should cover off on before we sign off?
No, everybody just go rip. That's it.
Go rip. You've heard it from himself. Jinx, anything from you? Anything last words before we sign off? 2 weeks.
No, just really nice to meet you, James. I really enjoy your videos and can't wait to see some more.
Thanks. Hope you guys
Awesome.
have me back sometime.
I want to get the whole pirate, like, well, not the whole pirate crew, but as you know, I know that some folks are across the pond, but it would be cool to. I think that's going to be a focus for us, is like getting, and it was kind of, you brought up the idea, right? Having crews on. I think that's,
Yeah. That was actually a
we're
James
excited.
idea.
So Yeah. So D-Quad's going to be on in 2 weeks. Then we have acrobatics, I believe, in 2 weeks after that. So the guy's putting on the acrobatics contest. That's going to be another D-Quad pilot. Headmaster's in that, along with Lumpy, who came in second, and Mark Kunoff, who's been organizing. So I'm excited about the next couple live streams. And if you've hung out this long, thanks for hanging out this long, and we'll see you in 2.
Have a good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
All right, we're done.